Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So in this video, I'm having a look at Ben Murrow's Evolution NFT collection. So I've done a few videos about this, launched actually a couple of months ago, but I'm interested. It's not a game per se, at least not at the moment, not the way I think it's going to become a game, but it is. I think it's interesting as a sort of NFT project that is kind of quite self-contained, but also sort of now trying to expand. And I kind of think this is a key element for lots of blockchain game projects. You know, it's easy to create NFTs. It's also easy to kind of have NFTs in a game. But how do you sort of build kind of market mechanics around those? Easier in a game, I think, than a collection. But I think there is conclusions to be drawn from this. So anyway, the Ben Murrow Evolution project is actually running on the Flow blockchain, so the blockchain from Dapper Labs, and it is available on this marketplace called Vive, spelled VEV3, and it uses the Flow token. So there are some accessibility issues around it. There is this other whole thing with the Flow token not being sort of available legally to people in the US and Canada. So obviously issues around that as well. In terms of this project, it's sort of interesting that these are the cards. They were made available on a drop, say a few months ago now, and there's like a common set and a rare set and a legendary set, and they were sold in kind of randomized packs. So they look pretty cool. Ben Murrow is a concept artist, worked on lots of games and films. So obviously he has very kind of high level art. So these are the NFT set. So originally there were 21 of these cards, split into these various kind of rare kind of scarcity models, rarity models. And now what's interesting is to kind of force a kind of collecting mechanic. Is they've started to do these drops. So this one here was the first one to drop. So this is a common card. If you held all the common cards on April the 30th, you received this new card. So that's number 22. So that's here. That one's just dropped. They've just changed the user interface on this marketplace so you can kind of see these more clearly. So this one is just dropped and is currently selling for 22 Flow. We can see there's a similar thing happening here. So collectors holding all common and rare cards by May 31st will receive a new card, and collectors holding the complete collection will at some point in June, I guess, if the month stays the same, also get a reward card. So this is something we've seen in NBA Top Shop. If you hold collections for certain periods of time, you then get given a card that is not available in any other way. So that's interesting. Obviously, it forces people to kind of collect things. What's interesting part of the time is after this card drops, do people keep their collections? Obviously, they will do because they're scaling these up. So this sort of drives set buying mechanics. But at the end of a collection, do people then everyone just try and dump their cards because they've got the rewards? It's interesting. I guess what they're thinking here, quite a nice idea that you're kind of like layering these reward systems up. Problem is to buy all of these is pretty expensive. We'll have a look at the numbers actually. Another interesting thing here that they've said. What started as a collectible card series is expanding into a larger original sci-fi galaxy to explore in the metaverse. Quite what that means, we have absolutely no idea. These are obviously just designed as kind of 2D artwork. I imagine these may have been designed, with some sort of obviously they may have designed, I don't know if they're designed in 3D or just drawn in 2D. What kind of structure you can build around this, I don't really know. But I guess that's the sort of point of this project. So let's have a look at pricing. So I do love a spreadsheet, and I've been kind of just manually building up this spreadsheet. So this is looking at the price of all those NFTs over. Let's have a look. We're now in mid May, and we started out back in very end of March. So kind of what are we talking about? Kind of 6, maybe 7 weeks. So what's interesting is if you pull this graph up, so this is looking at the price in Flow. So if you wanted to buy all these every day, this is the kind of the kind of market, not really market cap, sorry, the buy price. If you came into this project and wanted to buy all those cards at once. So you can see it started hit a high here at the 1st of April at 2,298 Flow tokens, and we can see there's been a pretty steady decline, little bumps along the way, and now we're down at 887 Flow. So more than halved in that period of time, and that's why they started to bring this this kind of collection mechanic in, I believe. That wasn't apparent until about was it kind of mid-April, maybe a month ago. They started talking about this reward mechanic. You can see it's not really changed things very much. Actually, maybe it was about here. Maybe this is, or this pick up here is maybe not. That's what's going on. So in general, this is a sort of dangerous mechanic. If an NFT project starts to have the kind of pricing go down, it's very hard to recover that. I believe you can do it, but it becomes hard. And obviously, the data I've not got here is on liquidity. So I'm not looking at, are people buying and selling these? What's the trading data? I'm actually just looking at what's the lowest price of these. So all you can see is someone puts the price one day at 4, and then the next day the price is 3.43. And unless the price goes up here, which means people have come in and been buying at that level, if the price just keeps going down, then obviously what's happening is people are just, there's not sales happening, and people are just dropping the price lower and lower and lower. At which point, if you do want to buy it, why would you buy it today? Because you just wait and it'll be cheaper tomorrow. That whole sort of deflationary model starts to kick in quite badly. We can also look at it in dollars, obviously. So this is looking at the price so Flow as a token has been as high as $40, currently about currently about $27, yeah. So we can see here at one point at the peak, it would have cost you $78,000 to come in and buy all these. Now currently looking at about 24,000. So still a pretty large amount of outlay for people if they want to come in and buy that complete set and gain those kind of those extra cards. So it's still a kind of a large amount of money because there's quite a lot of kind of cards at these various prices. But the price again has been, in whatever token you use, the flow or dollars, that's been in decline. So this is what they have to, kind of quite important that they stop that decline. Also, obviously, the other thing is if there's no liquidity in the system, that everyone who actually owns these NFTs just can't sell out. The only power you have is to set the price. But if literally no one is buying, then it doesn't really matter what price is being set at. You can set the price. Does it go down to sort of one flow? Does it go down to a tenth of a flow? If no one's interested in the project and no one believes it's going to kind of rebound, then no one's prepared to put money in there. Particularly as there's so many NFT projects at the moment. So you have the dynamic of your own project, but also you have the competitive dynamic of the whole market. And if I've got $1,000, do I put it into this project or do I decide I'm going to, invest it somewhere else? So in these graphs here, I've looked at I've broken it down into the common, the rare, and the legendary cards that we saw before. We can see here there's quite a lot of variation in price. We can also see, as I've mentioned in previous videos, there is a sort of a premium, what I call an aesthetic premium. So particularly here, this card number, is that card number 11? I can't remember. Number 5, sorry. So this card number 5 has always had a sort of premium. So we look at card number 5, and it is this happy orangutan sort of character, which I think is the strongest single card from an aesthetic point of view. So we can see that card has always had has always been more highly priced than the other ones. We can see actually over time though, some of the other ones sort of have had this kind of aesthetic kind of premium, we could call it. But it sort of all ends up a bit of a mess. I mean, it all ends up about the same because there's no difference in rarity of these cards, and often it's the numbers that are out there that drives pricing. So we kind of see, particularly if I think we see something very different if the market was bullish and people were and the price was going up, we see more of that kind of premium in bull markets rather than bear markets. And we can see here there is this little jump up here, so it's actually fairly significant if we look at the actual price numbers here. So we were getting as low as some of these have gone to under three flow for the first time, and we've had a big kind of pick up today because they've redone this UI, and they've made it clear what the kind of collection model is and what the bonus model is. So pretty much everything here has seen, not all of them actually, pretty much all of them have seen sort of like a rise in the common set. The ones at least are getting very cheap, relatively cheap, obviously. Still flow at 20, so that's still $75. So that's what's quite a lot of volatility there on the common cards. So on the rare cards, these are the kind of next expensive ones. So again, we've seen peaks of over 120 flow for some of them. Again, there is this premium here. So this is card number 14, which is the Mako. So again, this was sort of a signature card. This one and the Cerulean were kind of signature cards that they were used to advertise the project. I think they probably are more humanoid cards, more sort of kind of ones that people might want to buy. This one here, Isaac, seems to be underpriced. Oh no, actually the Scythian also is now underpriced. These ones have always not been so highly priced, at least from the numbers point of view. We can see here it's not quite there's not quite been a convergence here. We have some at different sort of pricing levels, and again I think that's this aesthetic premium, but we can see quite a strong decline. And on the legendary ones even more so. It's interesting on the legendary ones that there was this one, number 21, this one here, the Hilux, scary sort of alien one, was always priced much higher. Now it's actually the Gorgon is always priced lower, but these ones are sort of priced roughly the same now. So we've actually seen any aesthetic kind of valuation lost here, and we can see, you know, it was quite spread, and yeah, the Gorgon, the one is always slightly under is now the cheapest one, but the rest of them have sort of converged to a level of around 200 flow tokens. Seem to have lost that recently, but you see they got as high as 500, over 500 at one point. So there's been you know, every scarcity NFT has seen a kind of decline, and generally you've seen a kind of a loss of aesthetic kind of premium, and even it is now. So this is some other stuff I've done, just kind of averaging what's going on here. And if you kind of if you kind of think that the common cards, if you bought a pack, it was 9 flow for a common pack with 2 cards in it, so the average price you can think of as for a common card is 4.5 flow. And we can see here actually we've been underwater. So if you had bought a pack of 2 common cards for 9 flow and now tried to sell them, the average price you'd get would be under that, and that's been the case. So we went under this kind of not that long ago, about a week ago. Other than that, you would have a profit. The other ones are still in profit. So if you bought a rare pack and you bought a legendary pack, you would still actually have done quite well if you sold them off sort of certainly straight away. You'd have done much better, 300%. It's still roughly the same. So obviously it depends. This is the looking at the price in flow. Actually, I should say it's not the price in dollars. I don't think. No, this is the price in flow, not the price in dollars, because obviously you have two variations there. And this number here is the price of if you want to buy the complete set of those. No, it can't be right. No, that's the what is that? So this is the average price of a card. Sorry, I should say. So the average price of a card is $100 in the common set, $943 in the rare set, and $4,219 in the legendary set. So there we go. So it is interesting to see. I'm probably going to take a bit of time off from checking every day on this on this kind of collection. We'll keep kind of looking back to see and doing videos if anything kind of big changes. I do think it will be interesting. Obviously we have these dates now that May the 31st is the next kind of kind of milestone for holding cards. I think there will be less over time. Becomes harder to get numbers of people to kind of upgrade because it just costs so much more to go from a complete section of common, a complete set of common to a complete set of rare to a complete set of legendary. I guess what's more interesting here will be what's the expansion? What can they do here? Obviously if they were going to make sort of a game or an interactive sort of experience, that takes time to do. That would take it maybe 6 months, a year to do something decent. So we kind of have to look for what they're going to start teasing around that if something does happen. Obviously none of this investment advice. I would say I do own some of these cards. I own half a dozen of them, but I was going to get a complete set of common and then never quite got around to it. So yeah, I do have. It's I think also important to say, I have lost money doing this, but I'm not really fussed about that. I kind of you can lose money and be aware of what you're getting into with this sort of stuff. So I'm more interested in the journey, as they say, rather than the destination, certainly in financial terms. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're interested in what's going on in the world of blockchain, NFTs and games. But thanks for watching, and see you again soon.